this video, Teresa and I are sharing our personal top 3 things that helped us with weight loss. And they are different even though we are both prescribing to the same philosophy. That means no flour, no sugar, intermittent fasting, tuning into the body's sensation. We recorded it in September 2019. It took me a while to post it. Sorry, Teresa, but I'm posting it anyway because it's still very relevant, though for me certain things changed and improved since, and it's been 5 months since we recorded it. So enjoy. I hope you will get something from it for yourself. Today, Teresa, let's talk about how to lose 40 pounds for you and 10 pounds for me. I'm going to share my 3 things. What helped me to lose my weight, even though I still have maybe 4 or 5 pounds to go. Okay. And for me, it would be relationship with the hunger and false hunger, handling the sugar cravings, and exercise. And what do you want to talk about? What really helped you?
My brain. My brain really helped me a lot. And then water and the eating windows that I chose for myself and why.
Okay.
And my thinking around that, because it really took a big shift.
Mm-hmm. So do you want to start? Do you want to just talk about your journey?
Sure, if you want.
Yes,
so,
go ahead.
I mean, my whole life I've been up and down in my weight. And, more in adult life, it's just like big changes, whether it's a good change or a traumatic change, have always triggered something in me to change my eating habits. And then I ended up gaining a lot of weight. And in the past, I always felt really completely out of control with that. And most recently, in the last 7 or 8 years, I guess it's a long time, every time I started to lose weight, it would trigger panic attacks. So like literally just 3 to 5 pounds, I would be consciously excited. Like, yes, we're on the right track again, but something inside of me would trigger major like panic, like can't breathe, heart racing, anxiety, fear in the stomach, like all the stuff. And I felt out of control. And so what I ended up doing when that would happen would be that I would eat really late at night for as many days as it took. And I would stop going for walks or whatever it was that I was doing, and until I gained that weight back. And then I would be frustrated and upset. And then I would do it all over again. And it just kept going on for years and years and years. And so it took a long time for me because I guess I'll just let you know, one of the biggest fears was beliefs was that my size or my weight was actually the cause of all of the sexual traumas throughout my life. Like for some reason, that's what some part of me believed. And so if I lost the weight, then I was afraid that I was literally in danger and that there was nothing I could do about it. So I was in a place of fear and complete disempowerment. So what I really had to do was change my thinking and my beliefs about that. And I had a huge mind shift in January that just wasn't the case. And I started, this weight loss journey last December, and it was going all right, but I was still dealing with the panic. And then in January, like a switch flipped in my brain. Like I finally understood. And so I really learned how to breathe through it, but now it just doesn't usually happen. But that doesn't mean I don't get feelings that come up in just life, like feeling restless or feeling sad about something or feeling grief about something or feeling anger. Like I still have emotions. It's just not that one anymore. But then realizing like, why am I looking for food when I know I'm not physically hungry? Why do I keep coming down to the kitchen and there's nothing there that I want? So I'm still not eating anything, but I'm wanting and I'm looking and I'm restless, right? And it just hit me like, oh, I'm feeling sad. Like it just, oh. And then it just, okay, I can be sad. I've definitely done sad before. It's okay to do sad right now. I don't need to eat about it. And that was a really huge shift for me. And it's not like it was tons of food, it's just more than I needed. And I don't keep a lot of sugar in the house, but I mean, I guess that's always an option to go get it. I just didn't. So, I mean, that was probably one of the biggest things. And the other things is like believing in myself. I mean, at this point, I've lost 42 pounds and I already, it's like when I see in my brain, I already know it's gone. I've already lost it and it's permanent this time. So it's not like I'm worried about if I can lose the weight. I already know that it's gone. To hope I'm making sense. It's like that future self, I just know. I see who that is and I eat that way now. It,
Can I
I
ask
eat,
you questions about this?
yeah.
Because do you want to talk about, are you comfortable sharing what was the shift that happened in January, or that's something very private?
No, it's not very private. It's just that belief that I had that my weight causes rape or caused childhood sexual abuse. Like my size, large or small, could cause somebody to do that. Where it's like I was putting it all on me, even if like a lot of it was not conscious. You know what I'm saying? Um, it just was there. And it was just something that I was able to, like, it flipped on, the light flipped on, like, not true. And it's just, it's not me at all. It's whatever's going on in their brain and what they're thinking about and what they're feeling, which is why they did what they did, right? Which has nothing to do with me at all, like zero to do with me. And it just completely set me free, completely. So, how can I hang on to weight anymore when I know I don't need to protect myself?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, because I thought that my weight was a buffer and would keep people away, but it wasn't anyway. I still, you know, had people share interest and I was not interested in them, you know, over the years. And I would get I would get really angry because I still hadn't figured it out. I just really knew, look, I'm heavy for a reason, back off. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not interested in you. I don't want anyone being attracted to me. Like, just go away. Why are they still coming on to me? I'm 250 pounds. Well, almost, right? I was 247. Like, what is happening? This isn't working. Why? Yeah, it took me all those years to figure out. It had nothing to do with me.
Yeah, and it just shows us the power of your mind, the power of our mind, because
Yeah,
your mind was ready to accept, you were ready to accept in that moment in January that this is the truth. And even though the truth was, this perspective was available to you before that,
hmm,
now you were suddenly ready to
yeah.
accept it and leave it. When the panic attacks happened, what was going on in your mind?
That's the thing is I don't remember having thoughts.
No
I would
thought.
just start to have panic attacks throughout the day and not know consciously why. And I just knew I would want to eat to make it stop. And it took a long time to figure out consciously what I might have been thinking, which wasn't easy, really, you know?
Mhm.
Trying to figure out why do I feel the need. I was so excited about losing this weight, you know? Why would I want to gain it back? And it was, you really got to dive deep. And not a lot of people have the same experience that I do, but some for sure do.
Yeah,
And it's a matter of learning to believe that we are safe no matter what, and that we do have control. And at the same time, it's never our fault when somebody chooses to behave that way.
absolutely. As you are talking about this, I was excited to lose the weight, but a part of me was scared of losing even 3 pounds.
3, really?
Yes, and the panic attacks not being associated with any thoughts that you can track. This just shows me that we have the uh, well, this is the fact that sometimes there are different parts of us, the subconscious parts of us, that are trying to direct our life, take our life in this or that direction. Consciously, we want this, but a part of us deep inside is sabotaging it, is
Right.
preventing it from happening. So we just have to negotiate in between those parts
Mhm.
in a way to get them all on board.
In the past, I had lost a lot of weight before, and I was having a lot of recurring dreams. And one of them finally finished, and I had been asking, praying, why am I having? I love to exercise, so I'm like, why can't I exercise consistently? This is weird, and why can't I drop this weight when I know I've lost weight before? This is so strange. And so the recurring nightmares, not, they weren't nightmares, just dreams. Well, they finally finished, and it had to do with back then in 2010 with holding on to my mom who'd passed in 89, and I was carrying her like a little toddler, wrapped around me, and I had to put her down in the dream. I had to put her down. I couldn't, it was exhausting, right? You can't carry an adult around with you without getting exhausted, right? And I had adrenal exhaustion at the time, and so it was just so fascinating. I went and got a cranial sacral session and ended up putting her down, I guess, in my mind, in my heart, like, because I was terrified that if I put her down, that she would leave me forever and never come back. So
Wow.
that was part of me had that belief, even though I knew and had experiences with her, like in spirit. But sometimes we're split and we don't know. And so, anyway, as I released all the anger about her death and all of the sadness and grief, I dropped 40 pounds in 4 months after that. And I just was like, oh, I lost my shit and gained, I think, 60 or 80 pounds. It was a lot. I gained a lot. And then that's the one I'm losing that now. So, yeah. But now I knew it was about me. I knew it wasn't about my past, really. I knew it all had to do with my brain. And I decided last October, I'm going to resolve all that old childhood stuff. It's over. That pattern, how it's repeated in my life, it's done. I'm over it, and Spirit's going to help me. And then in December, I found what I needed to find, and I started this path. And then January, I had that light switch go off again, and it's just been my brain.
You said water was also a big part of you losing weight.
Yeah, if I notice that if I have 3 quarts to 4 quarts of water a day, it's just so easy. And
Really?
if I don't, because for whatever reason I'm just not staying on top of it, it stalls out or I'll gain. And
Mhm.
I'm like, what? But it's always that. And the other thing though, the water and my mind they're so important, because if the scale doesn't move and I know I've been awesome, I just don't believe it. I'm looking at that number. I'm like, you lie. That weight's going to be gone in an instant. And next thing I know, there goes 2 pounds. Like, I
Mhm.
just don't believe it. I know how awesome I'm doing.
Oh, wow. Okay, I will try that. I will try that. Sometimes I'm amazed how fast it goes, and sometimes you do so much work and
uh,
the scale doesn't move.
right? You're like, what's going on? That's just a lie.
Okay, and the eating windows.
Right. So, what's so interesting, before I learned about eating windows, right, which just means you eat between certain hours of the day. You get all your calories or whatever you want to call it. I don't count calories, but you get what I'm saying. You eat all the food in a specific amount of time. So, before I discovered that, I realized I was already doing it, but not intentionally. And I didn't even know that it could be good for me. And so I would be stressed all the hours that I didn't have time to eat breakfast or eat lunch or whatever it was. And I was stressed and I was hungry and I was like all this mind drama about not having time to eat. And then I would eat really late at night when I finally had time, which was like sometime between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. is when I finally made the time. And then, of course, starving to death, then I would eat tons of food. So, like, I don't know. I guess out of a scale of 0 to 10, I would feel like an 8, maybe more, like just so full. And then, of course, I'm not going to sleep well, right?
And I want to mention something. The scale you are talking about is the scale of how full you are. So 0 is you are neutral, neither hungry nor uh, full. But
Right.
to eat to eat a little bit, you are maybe +2. But to be +8, that means you are dying because you are so full.
Right. And it's so late, and then I'm going to try and sleep. And then what was happening is I would wake up like throwing up a little bit in my
Oh,
mouth. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so then I'd have to lean against the wall and try and sleep, like,
oh my goodness.
you know. So then I was exhausted the next day. It would just repeat itself. And anyway, so I made my eating window. For me, I don't even feel great if I eat after 5 or 6. So I usually try to eat before 4. But that means I'm not eating again until, 6 in the morning. I guess if I stopped at 4, or no, 8 in the morning, but I never eat that early. I'm not hungry. So I usually eat between 10 and 4 is what I would say.
Mhm.
10 is like the earliest I would ever eat anything ever.
Mhm.
But I do feel good every morning. It's not like I feel like I'm starving, and because I changed my mind.
I never had a lot of weight to lose. So the maximum would be like 10, 14 pounds.
Okay.
But still, it's incredibly hard. And the hardest part is dealing with my mind and my thinking. Because
Yes.
my mind would tell me, if I'm dying, I'm dying. If I don't eat now, I'm dying. Well, you have to change your thought, because I would be probably dying if I didn't eat for maybe 2 weeks. I don't know if I had water, but it never happened in my life that I haven't eaten so
Right.
long, right? So it's not true at all. So
Right.
you kind of have to, as you listen to your thoughts, don't take them at the face value, just challenge them.
Right.
Challenge yourself. And this is where I don't know if this is the correct name for this, the observer effect comes into play. You hear a voice in your mind and it's crazy. And there is a part of you that is sane and can ask and have a conversation. I'm
Yes.
dying. No, you are not. I'm dying. No, you are not. You can still go on for maybe 4 hours.
I promise you're okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doesn't look
And
that
so
conscious, but
for you, when you have the thought, I'm dying, that's the thought. What do you feel?
well, I haven't heard that in a long time,
Ah, okay.
because
Because I remember I didn't say I'm dying. I just would feel hunger, like the physical sensation of hunger.
Mhm.
And I knew I couldn't eat because I didn't have time. And then I would get angry and panic and stressed and like, oh, well, and and then when I decided, you know me.
No, but also it's like me. It's as if you were talking about me in the past.
I love that. And it wasn't until I changed my mind. And now when I feel the physical sensation of hunger, I go, ooh, dining in. I'm losing weight as we
For
speak.
those who don't know the term dining in, it's Luke Castillo came up with this term. If
Yes,
we have a little bit of fat to lose and we are hungry, you do not look into your fridge. You go through the hunger and you are using your fat
yes,
for the energy. So that's called
yes.
dining in.
That's right. And your liver will actually convert all that stuff to live and be just fine.
Uh-huh.
Not gonna die. And I have more than a little bit to go still. I mean, I'm only 5'4", I think I have 65 to 85 pounds to go. I guess we'll just.
I have a question here.
Mhm.
Because you look awesome,
Oh, thank
why
you.
not stay where you are?
Why not stay where I am?
Yes, yes.
I don't think it would be natural. I would have to. I mean, I'm just losing weight because I'm eating in a way that's healthy for me. So I
Mhm.
think I'm just going to keep losing it until it's just not meant to be lost. If that makes sense. I mean, I love that Brooke Castillo says any decision, anything you want, you get to just want it because you want it,
Mhm. I like it.
right?
Or like Dan Sullivan says, your future is your property. You can do with it whatever the F you want.
And so is my body.
Yeah.
And my body in the future is my property. I get to
Mhm.
do what I want with it.
I love it.
Yeah, me too. It's fun. I gotta say,
Yeah.
this time it's fun. It's not stressful or hard for me. It's just fun. I'm learning so much about my inner world. I'm learning about physically what works for my body that probably wouldn't work for other people. I mean, I don't know.
It's fascinating that for every person, it takes something else to lose weight. I mean, there are some general things
Hmm.
you should be doing if you want to lose weight, but the journey is so much different for every person. Well, sometimes even the specific foods that we are eating, it's good for you, but not good for me.
Yeah.
So I'm noticing two philosophies about eating for weight loss.
Hmm.
One is what we practice. One is you do intermittent fasting. You do the window of 4 or 6 hours that you
Yeah.
have to eat, and you eat 2 or 3 meals a day. And there is something specific that you do not eat, like simple carbs and so on.
Right.
And there is another philosophy about how to lose weight, and I cannot wrap my head around it because it doesn't make any sense from the standpoint of insulin, ghrelin, and leptin.
Hmm.
So I don't understand how some people are actually losing weight on that
Hmm.
protocol. You eat
Hmm.
breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner. I would
Well,
gain weight.
because they stay within that -2, +2 on the hunger scale. Again, taught by Brooke Castillo, right?
Mhm.
So if they stay within that hunger scale and they're planning ahead of time and they're only eating what they've planned to eat,
Okay.
then they're able to eat the way they want to live it for the rest of their lives. And for me, intermittent fasting, the way we're eating, is the way I want to live it for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
And so they're choosing, to put things on there that will affect their insulin, their leptin, and their ghrelin, but it's working for them because they're staying in their -2, +2 hunger scale.
Okay,
And they're probably getting enough water and enough sleep. It's very important.
exactly. What helped me in my journey, because I lost 10 pounds over the period of, I don't know, I was taking it slow, making it slow and consistent. So
Yes.
there is so much to it, but these are the three things for me. First, my relationship with hunger. I learned to recognize what is the false hunger and what is the real hunger. So in the past, I would be dying if I didn't eat something.
While you're talking, my stomach started growling.
Oh, mine is growling for the past 2 hours, and I like to feel it. And also
Yeah.
hunger. This is good that we this is for us luxury problem, because it would be different. It would be so much more stressful if we didn't have money to buy food or we didn't have food around. That would be a different kind of hunger and
Right.
different psychology. But if we if we have food in the fridge and we are just dealing with the hunger, getting to know the hunger because we want to get in touch with the body, this is a completely different thing. You can be at peace with yourself and still just be curious and not panicking because you don't have something to eat. Where we live, food is very easily accessible. Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah. So going back to the relationship with hunger, I learned that if I don't eat simple carbs, add flour, sugar, simple carbs like pastas, potatoes, my body is not stressing so much about being hungry. Before, when I ate the simple carbs, my stomach would hurt a lot and I would feel nauseous.
Wow.
Now that I don't feel, I eat mostly slow carbs and proteins and, greens.
Okay.
I am so much more comfortable with extending the hours when I'm not eating. Also, for me, eating is the forced hunger is when I cannot do what I really want to do, what I enjoy doing, because I'm busy with other things, taking care of other things. I'm driving through town thinking which place I can stop by in to get myself a pastry.
Okay.
And that pastry is filling the gap because I cannot fulfill my soul doing what I want to do on that particular day or a week. Will sugar and flour fulfill the need of my soul? I
No.
seriously doubt it. Sometimes I will give in. Sometimes I will maybe 20% of the time, I will let myself eat it. I didn't say goodbye forever to flour and sugar, even though I know what it does.
Mm-hmm.
But since I know what it does, it's so much easier to sometimes to talk myself out of it.
To talk yourself out of it.
Yeah, I can talk
Mm-hmm.
myself out of it using knowledge. Because
Okay.
most people do not know what sugar does to the body, to the cells, to the
Right.
nerves. And if I remember just 3 things, what it does, then I can use this knowledge to talk myself out of it.
You know what's so interesting when you said most people don't know what sugar and flour can do? Have you ever read the book Lick the Sugar Habit by Nancy Appleton?
No.
She talks about the Pottinger cat study in there and some other studies that have to do with the way our teeth function. And anyway, it was just really fascinating. But the Pottinger cat study proved that sugar specifically affects our ability to be able to reproduce and be healthy and happy and mild mannered. And it starts to deteriorate our health through the generations very quickly, but cats faster than humans because they reproduce faster than us. But it was really fascinating that by the third generation, they couldn't have a fourth generation because of sugar.
Scary.
Well, it is pretty scary, but when you take a look at the world right now, a lot of people struggle with infertility and they don't know that it could have been the effect of sugar and flour through the generations. But also, as an herbalist, like there's a lot we can do to turn that around if the diet is also changed. But it's pretty serious.
And it's such an addictive substance. I haven't done it before, but from now on, I will be giving my clients a sugar handout. This is what sugar does in your body. You can believe it or not. And
Mhm.
of course, I'm not doing the research. I'm just a hypnotherapist, but I have good sources, and I will just give it to them. Here it is for your reference.
Right. But
So
even when we know the truth logically, like, I mean, my mom died of heart disease. That didn't stop me from gaining so much weight after the last thing I went through, the last trauma that I didn't know how to handle emotionally. Right. So, like you said, you were trying to feed a part of your soul that you believe is not like that you can't do it in that moment. And so you're wanting the sugar instead, and you can talk yourself out of it because you're you and you're using your logic and science, but there has to sometimes it's not enough for people. Like they
I know.
really have to be able to sit with those emotions and be willing to be uncomfortable. That was a huge deal for me, to be able to know that I have already felt 99.9% of all the emotions that humans can feel: terror, panic, disempowerment, grief, shame, like laid on me. I've felt it. You know what I'm saying? All the losses and traumas, and I can handle daily life now because I remember, like, I'm learning that I can feel anything. If my soul is feeling empty, I can sit with that. I've felt it before. And I can probably figure out how to feed my soul.
I notice that on weeks when I'm alone, I see that I'm more productive and I am more, I can be alone and I can create more and I don't eat that much. It's because I feed my soul with creativity.
Nice.
Yeah. So I am the kind of person that I can use logic a lot, but if I happen that I jump on that food that I shouldn't be eating, these are moments when that I didn't even give myself the chance to talk to myself. There was just no thinking at all. The thinking mind is on vacation, and the limbic part, the primitive part of brain, is taking over and eating it all. But for me, the process, it's good to observe how, for me, the process of limiting sugar, limiting flour and sweets is a progressive thing. I
Mhm.
eat less and less of it. And 2, 3 years ago, what I would be doing? I would buy myself a package of cookies. And as I took the last bite, then my thinking mind would come back as if walking into a room. What have you done? Why did you have to eat the whole package? And I'm like, that's right, I have no idea.
What
And
just happened? I
yes,
missed
I know,
it.
where was I? Oh, the package is empty. How
I
did
don't know.
But now I'm a kind of person right now that can take a bite, close it, and put it away. Right now, I'm the kind of person that can take a bite and just because I don't like to throw away food, but as an experiment, I will just throw it away. I'm free of that. There is no more temptation. I had the taste, I took a bite of this sweet thing. Because I was present, I realized it wasn't even as good as I expected it to be.
Right?
So my third thing was working out.
Okay.
And what I changed, what was different for me this time was that I committed to working out and I gave my all 2 to 3 times a week at the gym, at the classes.
Hmm.
And every single time I thought they will kill me. If I didn't know I'm exercising and it's for my own good, I would think that they are trying to kill me.
Yeah, I am exercising, but it's not like it's a ton of calories. I promise you that. It's
Mhm.
definitely not why I'm losing weight. I do it because I like how I feel when I move. That's
Yes,
it.
exactly. And this is also part of how we feel about the whole process of losing weight, that we feel empowered because of what we do.
Right.
We are not waiting for the moment to arrive at the destination, which is the specific weight.
Right.
We feel better and more confident because of what we are doing on the way there.
Yeah. And I'm not in a hurry. And I remember learning that early on that if I ever, with anything in life, feel like I'm in a hurry, then I'm doing it wrong.
Okay.
So it's been a practice to notice when I'm feeling in a hurry and ask myself why and make peace with myself and make peace with the process and the time. I think weight loss is such an incredible opportunity to learn about ourselves. These are lessons that we're going to take through the rest of life.
Mhm.
This is incredible, and we'll be able to apply all the things we're learning to everything that we do, all of our relationships and our goals. I think
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, Teresa, it was awesome to hear from you. I learned again so much about your journey and you. It's very interesting. So thank
Thank you.
you for
I
just
love
jumping
talking
on
with
the call.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.